Hey everyone, first rule of thumb should always be never trust a word a politician says. Exhibit A. This is a headline out of CBC News under the politics section. I wonder why they choose the politics section, right? To put forth this kind of dialogue, this kind of narrative. Yeah, it's done on purpose, folks. Make no mistake about it. Headline: Ottawa sharing info with U.S. Homeland Security on all Americans entering Canada. So, you know, all them illegal asylum seekers or immigrants, right? The ones that are trying to run from persecution of what? What? Trump? You know, all them African, Haitian migrants, right? These asylum seekers or these people from the Middle East that are using Europe as a gateway to North America, right? And now they're finding their ways up into Canada because apparently Trump is saying, hey, yeah, we're not taking no more, right? You know, sorry, we've overextended ourselves and we got to lay off there for a while. Now they're finding their way up into Canada because they've heard Mr. Trudeau, you know, Mr. Feminist Trudeau, right? Mr. I'm not going to pay for it, but yes, Canadians are so compassionate. Come on up, come on in. I'll force the Canadian people to pay for you, to subsidize your living, to subsidize your income, or maybe just pay for it completely outright. Or at least, right, as we all learned subsequently in a lot of articles, they got a year and a half at least, at the very least, they get a year and a half of free health care, free dental, free welfare, free all this, free. And so even the worst case scenario for them is, yeah, you get to live in Canada for at least a year and a half off of the Canadian taxpayer. All completely paid for and subsidized by the lowly working class in Canada, because as we all know and recognize, that the ones at the very, very upper, the top 1%, they don't pay fucking no taxes at all. And the middle class, well, they just, you know, use all these offshore accounts, as we're seeing. And I'm not against all those people, right? I wish the rest of Canadians didn't have to subsidize all this shit either. But look, it's all being forced onto the lowly working class Canadians that are going to have to subsidize and pay for all this shit, right? But, like I say, you trust the government. You thought that Trudeau was saying, come on up. But what you didn't realize is, yeah, there's these agreements between countries in North America, right? Canada has this kind of agreement with the U.S. that, and they won't tell you this right off the bat, right? Because they want to keep the system of government going. So all these people, all these illegal immigrants or asylum seekers that are coming to Canada, they're creating all this tent cities. So they're keeping some of the fucking people in the military busy, you know, bureaucracy. They're creating all kinds of bureaucratic institutions, right? So they're keeping government workers busy, right? But what they're leaving out, what they negated to tell you is, yes, even though that benefits a lot of us central planet types, and yeah, sure, you're fucking with the Canadian people, where, hey, we don't give a fuck about them, but we have this agreement legally with the U.S. that we have to inform them of what's going on. So the U.S. has a list, right? They got a list, folks, of all these people that are coming up into Canada, right? And yeah, they're not taking too kindly about the fact that, hey, if you stay up in Canada and suck off their teat and soak up their resources, they're fine. But like I say, the U.S. is pissed off at the fact, especially Trump and his team and his subordinates, they're pissed off at the fact that Canadians, hey, aren't you supposed to be on our same team? That's what think about it. Can the U.S., the reason why we had a good relationship, right? At least the U.S. and Canada at least had a lot of cultural history that they shared, right? I mean, most of the people that created the U.S. and Canada were of European descent, right? A lot of white folks, right? And their subsequent generations and successive generations and the people alive today are like, hey, wait a minute, aren't we supposed to be all on the same team here, right? Aren't we all at least, hey, we can be competitive towards each other, but aren't we at least trying to kind of say that, hey, we're brothers and sisters, right? The Canadians and Trudeau saying, hey, no, fuck you, man. Hey, fuck you, America. Fuck you, Britain. Fuck all you other the white culture Canadians. No, we're turning our backs on you and we're going to these, what? I don't know where the fuck they're pointing their asses at, right? A lot of these Middle Eastern cultures and countries. Why? Why is that? Why you turn your back on your family, Trudeau? Oh, that's right, too. Trudeau's French. The rest of Canada's English. Would it have something to do with that? Probably, right? But like I say, this here headline alone is telling you that no matter what, all you illegal immigrants and asylum seekers, you're going to get fucked some point, right? The media, the propagandists, the political hacks, the pundits, right? The opportunists, yeah, they're pretending they're got that olive branch stretched out. But trust me, when you get close enough, or if they recognize that, oh, my bro don't like that, well, they'll fucking turn that olive branch around and they'll smack you on the fucking head with it. Trust me. And they won't have no qualms about it. They'll sleep very good at night. They're sociopaths and control freaks for the most part. And you fools were foolish enough and naive enough to think that, well, you got caught in the trap, didn't you? And good fucking for you for being so fucking naive. Just like people, if you get a phone call in the middle of the night and someone says, oh, hey, I've got $100,000 in the bank for you, just send me $10,000, I'll send, hey, if you're stupid enough to fall for that bullshit, then hey, you deserve everything that fucking comes to you. Because you know what? You'll learn next time, won't you? That's a learned experience right there. So these refugees, these asylum seekers, let this be a learning lesson. Let this be a fucking time of where you realize, yeah, you can't trust governments. Not our governments from the countries we left, not the government in the U.S., and sure as fuck not the governments of Canada. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.